whatever it is. I think with certain things.
Did not say it.
You want to know you care.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No. That the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand. The job at hand was to produce a successful roast, which I did.
I was struck by when Kevin talked about how, he was talking and he said, what was I supposed to do in the middle of a live broadcast and basically stop somebody from telling a joke? No. But the fact remains that 18 jokes were removed after the live feed. 18 of them were removed, including one that was told about Melania Trump. So if it is that you removed 18, because you very much could have jumped up and stopped somebody from telling a joke, but you and that production were able to take 18 jokes away out of the program so that people not seeing the live feed wouldn't see it.
Kevin Hart's roast was a lot of things. It was distasteful. The jokes were offensive. The jokes were not even really jokes. They seemed and they felt more like attacks or like a humiliation ritual. Was this a humiliation ritual?
Now, I'm definitely no D.L. Hughley fan because he's caped for these type of jokes at one point himself too. But I wanted to use this clip to raise a question. If the goal is a roast, like everybody keeps saying, y'all just don't understand what a roast is. If y'all gonna be so sensitive, don't watch the roast. Don't eat a roast. Roast. It's a roast. The goal of the roast is to go as far as you can. Y'all must ain't heard what happened to the Tom Brady roast. Did you hear what happened to the Tom Brady roast? No, the Tom Brady roast. Roast, right? So if the goal of a roast is to take it as far as you can, why were any jokes removed, right? I mean, that's the goal, right? But why was one removed about Melania Trump? Because he respects those people. He don't respect his people. That's why he can go into the Breakfast Club and be dismissive toward George Floyd's brother, right? Because you don't respect your own people. We're supposed to, what he told us, to move on, move past it, move on, right?
Cheryl Underwood definitely took a lot of hits in this roast. They talked about everything from her past husband that took his own life. They talked about her private parts. They talked about her appearance, the color of her skin, anything that they could find to talk about this woman, they talked about. Roasting George Floyd, that seems like below going up under the belt. That seems like below just, the ground. It was like one of the lowest things that they could joke about, because if you remember what happened with George Floyd and how that affected our community as a whole, just watching that video was, really disgusting. And then to hear somebody joke about it later, regardless of whatever you think about the George Floyd case, and just to think that's something to joke about, it is absolutely crazy. Like, to watch someone get their life taken in that way, and how we have become so insensitized, so desensitized just to things happening, whether they're your skin color or not. It's a tragedy to see another human life, another human, being taken away, especially on camera when they're surrounded by so many people. So that alone right there was just distasteful. To joke about something that has been a pain to our community, something that has, affected us in a very deep, deep, deep way.
Kevin Hart said on The Breakfast Club that the George Floyd joke was not in good taste for our culture, but for a roast, that's just how things are done. They go below the belt. You're supposed to take it too far. And I'm just curious, because I didn't watch the roast and I won't be watching the roast, were there any jokes about Jewish people or the Holocaust? Since they take it too far, from all the comedians there, they seem to, pretty much everybody, have an anti-black joke, a horrific joke over a literal lynching of a human being, of a black person. And since we're defending that sort of behavior, I just want to know, were there any jokes about Jewish people and the Holocaust? Since nothing is off limits, right? Who else was impacted by this roast? Or was it just the very people who are not seen as human?
Going back to Cheryl Underwood's husband, with them joking about that, it's almost like they may as well make a joke on mental health and just laugh in the face of people who struggle with or have mental health, and who take their lives in that way is like almost devastating. Me personally, myself, did I take that offensive? Did I take it as something hurtful? Yes, because I have lost a child due to self-harm, to suicide, to taking their own life. So for me, something like that, it wasn't funny. It was very distasteful. It just wasn't something that I thought that they should have, like put into the script like that, and wrote about it as something that would be entertaining or funny to people. Mental health is not something that is funny. It's a lot of people that struggle with mental health. It's people that struggle supporting family members that have mental health, and it's survivors of suicide or people taking their lives that experience this, and just the emotional part of getting over something like that. So I couldn't, it's hurtful to this day just to even talk about it sometimes, or to even mention it, or to, go back through my phone and look at pictures of my daughter. So let alone for Cheryl Underwood to have someone, joke about her husband, not one, not two, not three, but basically like he was the butt of the jokes. And that was hard to watch. So yeah. What is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Now, Cat Williams spoke about Kevin Hart's placement within the industry. He said that he was originally a plant, and that almost like he would do anything for money. And if anything said, I will do anything for money, was this roast of Kevin Hart. It gave, I would do anything for money. If the check is being wrote, if the check is coming, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter who gets offended, I will be there to collect. They also shook hands at this event when Kevin Hart said basically like, yeah, you can't say I'm not a good actor, because I mean, I shook his hand, so you seen that, so you could tell I'm a great actor. It kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, I guess, was it real? Was it not real? It was said that they had made up before that actual event, so who knows? But most of it was just giving a lot of distaste. Most of it was giving, I'll do anything for a check. Now, y'all remember years ago when Monique was trying to boycott Netflix, and people were really giving her a hard time. It wasn't a lot of support behind Monique. But now it seems like more people are getting on that boat, and they're just like, we're not supporting what was being said. We're not supporting what was basically portrayed, because we don't like it. A lot of people are saying it's like the minstrels, or the shows where the people would do blackface, and instead of them doing blackface, they're just inviting a bunch of black faces and doing it in front of those faces now, which is very ironic that it was said that a lot of the writers were of the YT race. So just for them to even like feel comfortable, like, yes, this would make a great show. Let's, see how we can insult all these people. And, and you really didn't see a lot of comebacks. I felt like there were so many different comebacks that could have been said, that could have been in place, but it was more like a one-sided type of attack or situation.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I had to turn that Kevin Hart roast off early last night. I don't know if it's just me, but something isn't right. Like, something isn't right. I love comedy. I watch it all the time. I love to crack jokes. I love dark humor, but I feel like there's a line. And I don't know, man. Something isn't right. Like, I'm just watching the people on the stage, and of course it's very performative. It's a special. So I get, like, a lot of it is scripted, but I feel like I witnessed that dark side of Hollywood that everybody always talks about. It was like watching people attack one another, but they're also in alliance, right? Like, there's a level of understanding, like, no matter what I say tonight, like, this is what you signed up for. This is in good graces. But some of the jokes just went a little too far for me, especially with racism. And it was very uncomfortable to watch. I'm also looking at Kevin Hart from a standpoint of you're creating a space for this to happen, and like you're fully indulged into it. Like you're fully immersed to the point where, I don't know, man, it's like selling your soul type thing. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to go that far, but that's literally the feeling that I got while I was watching that. It's like the level of respect, the morals, the values, all the things that we represent as black people, like it was traded in for money. Like it was okay. It was accepted because it's Hollywood and it's entertainment and these are stars and they get paid a lot of money to do what they do at a high level, and everybody's supposed to be okay because they're at a certain status, so they get to say these things.
A lot of it was given that they want us to like validate their disrespect of our race in their face. So it could be like, oh, well, this is okay. This is the norm. The black people are actually used to it. They're okay with it. See, they're laughing. They're laughing. Why aren't you guys laughing? Like it's not anything to take that serious. And when in actuality, it is something to take serious. You know, it's something to take very serious. It's something to question. And it's something that should be deciphered and definitely be studied. I think we're all mostly trying to figure out like what was the point in this horrendous show. Was it just something that they wanted the world to see? Because a lot of times most of the jokes weren't even like terribly funny like that. And then they didn't have it. I didn't see a bunch of comedians that you're used to like hearing from or you're used to seeing within the industry. It was just like you did have some big wigs, some big names in the building. And you had some comedians that were actually there that really didn't speak or say anything, like Tiffany Haddish. Maybe that was just the role that they wanted her to like take on, just to be present, as in showing her support, but not actually give any commentary. So that was another thing that I noticed, that it was of quite a few comedians that we could name that, you know, weren't there. And then they had some people that were giving jokes that weren't necessarily comedians, but they were entertainers. So I guess in whatever way that did count. And then just reading off of a teleprompter. I think there was enough talented people in the building that could write their own jokes, that could write their own material, that it wasn't necessary that they had to read a script or something that somebody else wrote off of a teleprompter. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I think it was very distasteful, and the fact that they're saying that they're willing to boycott this type of material, this type of show next time it happens, I think is very valid. So I want to hear your opinions, want to hear your thoughts. Please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you can to support. I really appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, love, peace, and blessings.
My spirit just didn't rock with it. It wasn't funny. I don't know, man. It was just weird, but maybe it's just me. What do y'all think?